Hello and welcome to a Middle of Nowhere Gaming QuickTime event. Today we're going to be talking about Sony's E3 press conference and how crazy was that. This will be a little bit unorthodox compared to your typical QuickTime event. Normally we have a timer, we're going to keep things short and all that stuff. We're still going to try and keep things short, but we're no timer today, just our reactions. I will be your host. I am Matt Batson, and with me is Esteban Cuevas.
Hello, I am very tired.
We are all tired after all of these press conferences that we have gone through. Also with me is Jordan Loeffler.
Hello, hello.
Hey there. We have Patrick Garrity. Patrick,
Uh,
what is happening?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
There you
Yay.
go.
All right,
All right.
I had it muted. I'm wide awake after watching that Sony press conference for sure.
that's
Ready to
fair.
go.
That's fair. You could go either way.
And last, but certainly not least, the strongest of all Finches, Shawn Richards.
How's it going, guys?
What's up, Sean?
Oh. Hey.
Alright.
All right, so like I said, we're going to be giving our sort of reactions and impressions of Sony's show. Before we do that, I wanted to go through and just quick rundown preview of every game that they showed. So
That's gonna take forever, though.
it's going to take forever. We won't talk about them until we talk about them. So The Last Guardian, Horizon Zero Dawn, which
Oh my God.
I think Horizon Zero Dawn is a very unoriginal name, but this is a very original game. Hitman, just Hitman. Street Fighter V, No Man's Sky, Media Molecules Dreams, whatever that is. Firewatch, the new Destiny expansion, The Taken King. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, World of Final Fantasy, also known as the biggest troll that Square has ever done. An actual Final Fantasy VII HD remake. There was a Devolver Digital sizzle reel that showed like Ronin and Eater and a bunch of other Devolver games that are going to be on Sony platforms. Shenmue 3, their Kickstarter was announced. Batman Arkham Knight was shown. Project Morpheus, you had some titles for that, including what was the one they just announced? Riggs, which was going to be developed by Guerrilla Cambridge. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 made an appearance. There was another little sizzle with some more Vita, some like giving the Vita a little bit of respect. Star Wars in Disney Infinity 3, and that sets, I don't know anything about Disney Infinity. Star Wars Battlefront, and ending the show, Uncharted 4. So yeah, let's go back up to the top, and after a little speech by Sean Layton, they pulled no punches and gave us The Last Guardian.
Okay. Sony. I hope you're listening to this.
Sony, Mr. Sony is listening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sony
Mr.
son.
Sony. Mr. Sony. Alright. You don't start off with The Last Guardian. You don't. You just don't. Because then you get me all excited. And I need it. You see, I need it. So I just hope that you understand. You don't start off with The Last Guardian. Because then you get me too hyped. You see? Now, everyone else will give their opinions, but I loved it. Just next time, don't start off too strong.
Next time they announce that the last Guardian's coming out in 2016 or whatever year it does end up coming out.
I was actually fine with it at first just because we have waited so
Yes.
long. We
Yes.
don't need to wait any longer.
Yeah, no, I was pretty cool with it being first. I mean, I think it kind of goes with the song playlist route. Like you gotta start off with you gotta start with the action. Like you really gotta start with where it's at. And no, I felt like it was a huge punch from the very beginning, and really did not let down the entire conference. I mean, it was just par for the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was completely unexpected, and there was a lot of speculation whether the game would change a lot between between what it was and if we ever saw it again. And we are very happy to say that Mr. Bird Dog is still alive.
Bird dog, bro.
He's so cute.
He is, and those feather physics he's got there,
Yeah.
pretty
I mean,
pretty nice.
there were some people that were saying it wouldn't be reannounced this year, like it was going to be all of years. Some people said it was going to be canceled, Miles, and some people said it was going to be at E3. So,
To be fair, I think a lot of people were saying it was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
after so
also,
long,
a lot of people were saying that it was going to be at E3 every year.
Yeah, that's true.
It had been too long. It was either going to show up this year or just not show up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they had been talking about it before, and I mean, like we had gotten an update on it, like kind of the no, don't worry, it's still alive, like it's
Yeah,
okay, everybody.
Wasn't it last year? IGN's like, we have the exclusive scoop, and The Last Guardian's officially dead, and then 20 minutes.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned that.
Nope, just kidding.
Yeah, I do remember that. I wonder if those rumors about what's his name, Perry, working on it were true. The architect of the PlayStation 4. He's very
Mark
well known.
Cerny.
Oh yeah.
Cerny, not Perry. Cerny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if that
That'd be interesting to see.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be getting many more. Hopefully, we'll be getting many more details on the game as it gets closer to this mystical date in 2016.
Right.
Yeah, we'll certainly hear something between Gamescom and PlayStation Experience. So
yeah, I think so.
Well, I think we're going to get something on the floor the next day or two because the press conferences is usually just the 10-minute drop, and as the 2 days or 3 days of the show progresses, more information comes out. So I think we'll get a little bit more.
We'll see. Although what we saw of it, we should probably talk about it a little bit.
It was awesome.
Great. I mean, like,
It was so awesome.
there's not much to it, and it kind of seemed like I don't know. It felt like a lot of it was very choreographed, but at the same time, like if you're going to be getting a lot of that interaction between the kid and Bird Dog, it's going to definitely build that companionship, and I'm sure there's going to be something down the line where it's going to be pulling at those heartstrings. Man.
I was losing my shit on chat. I was like, oh my god, this is finally happening. And I wasn't even like big into The Last Guardian. I was like, I know about this game, I've heard of it, but we haven't really seen anything, and it's probably dead, whatever. But then we finally saw the game, and it looked so good, and it looked really fun to me, and it was intense, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, just knowing that it was still alive, I think, made a lot of us happy. And like you said, Esteban, you were going crazy in the chat. At the time, it was only me and you. And immediately you're saying, how could anyone follow this? But Guerrilla Games comes out, and they show off their new IP, Horizon... what was it? Horizon Zero Dawn?
Zero Dawn.
Yeah. Which was... I thought it looked very impressive, especially... conceptually, it was a very unique game. Had some robot dinosaurs, some beautiful environments. It might just be me. I don't know if anyone else watched this show, but the anime Zoids with the mech animal things.
I get what you're saying, man.
Yeah, the giant it reminded me of that, even though that I'm sure that's completely irrelevant.
I really. The way the trailer presented itself, it started off kind of like you weren't sure what, and it just kept showing more and more, little bit by little bit, and then it just exploded to that last scene with the battle going on, and it just looked amazing. That was probably my favorite from sitting there watching this.
Yeah, I was really happy just to see, the story cinematic, where it's kind of telling you about this world where. We kind of have like a society as we know it in real life, but as technology is like getting smarter, nature is also taking over civilizations to where the people are sort of like this primitive culture, even though they're not like complete idiots. They're still out there fighting these giant robot warrior dinosaur animal beasts, giraffes too.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in it. I mean, it's one of, I feel like, many games in this conference. Like, while there are great reveals, a lot of the games in the Sony conference we need a lot more details on before we
that's true.
before we really start like digging into them.
That's true.
Don't get me wrong, like Horizon looks really cool. The environments are gorgeous. The concept, like you said, is awesome. It's a great idea. Having this technology and like this sort of prehistoric future.
Had robot dinosaurs.
That's the coolest phrase, prehistoric future.
Yeah.
And I think that really sums it up.
Dinosaurs are the hot thing right now.
Apparently, yeah.
All right.
I think it's good though. I really liked what I saw. We do need to see more, but we did see like gameplay, so I still feel like I got a good idea what it is.
But I still don't know if it's an adventure game, if it's gonna be
like
open world.
Yeah, I was wondering like maybe this is gonna be kind of Monster Hunter. Maybe I don't know.
That would be true.
It kind of looked like that.
Yeah.
At first I was really confused. I was like, are they hunting these robots for food? Like, I don't get this. But it kind of makes a little more sense if you think about it. Like, they need the tech or their upgrades and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What I got out of Horizon generic name was kind of like what we saw in the Microsoft conference with what was it, Recore, the Keiji Inafune game.
Yeah.
I could see a ton of parallels to that with a female protagonist with a robots, and they're hunting out other robots and things like that. But the thing about Recore was we saw CG and nothing else. We still have no clue what that game is. With Horizon, we got to saw, most likely very scripted gameplay. But the thing is, with that reveal, it looked like something I really loved. Like, even though we saw a ton of stuff, I actually am really excited for this game. I really want to learn more. This is almost this like maybe third favorite game of E3. And
it has a really cool color palette. I agree.
Yes,
it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And like with all the other reveals, that's actually saying a lot.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we got a very weird cinematic trailer that revealed itself to be the next Hitman game. There's going to be a beta on PS4. I'm not sure if they said exclusively, but it's when you pre-order the game. And then PlayStation gets exclusive contracts. I'm not a huge...
The beta is first on PS4.
First on PS4.
First. So.
And like I was going to say, I'm not a huge Hitman fan, so I've never played any of the games.
I was hooked on the trailer. I was like literally hooked. Like, where's this going? And then Hitman showed up, and I was like, okay, I'll see it in the bargain bin 3 months after it comes out.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, all right, next, we got to move on.
Yeah.
I don't follow the Hitman series. I played Blood Money a little bit and couldn't really get into it. That was basically it. I do have like almost all the games thanks to PlayStation Plus, though.
They're not bad. It's just the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they showed no gameplay, so we have no indication if it'll be the same shit.
We know a Hitman game exists. It might just be called Hitman. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got a brief look at Street Fighter V, where they revealed new characters, even though one of them was Cammy, so not really a new character.
When I saw the new characters, I thought Cammy is cool, and man, Delson Rowe really got fat, didn't he?
Birdie is not a new character.
He's not either.
He's from Street Fighter Alpha.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big fighting game and Street Fighter fan, so yeah. This is like, for example, when it was first announced, Street Fighter V is the game. I was like, okay, this is what makes me buy a PS4. So.
And then they also announced a public beta for July 23rd on PS4.
I believe for those who pre-order it. Am I not wrong?
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that seems to be becoming the norm.
Yeah, the trend.
Which actually makes sense in my opinion, because if you're really into something that you're really going to criticize it and really get into it, then I mean, you're probably going to pre-order it. You're probably going to participate in the beta.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I mean, you can see how that might be an issue for like people who are playing through it and they're going to be playing through the same thing over again with no save. Like there's no save option in a beta, and so basically when you get it, you're just playing the same thing over again. It's a little underwhelming if you're buying it.
That doesn't
play
really
through the same section again.
That doesn't really apply to Street Fighter V though.
No. I'm not talking about Street Fighter V necessarily, but
okay.
just the pre-order for beta concept.
I think what they did with Destiny last year, because if you remember, they had that 3-day alpha for Destiny.
Yep.
I believe that is something that's perfect. Just give them a little tease and then move on. So I believe that the beta idea can work. Although if you make it like a 3-month beta, then yeah, I see where your point is coming through.
Yeah.
And there were still people who got burnt out on Destiny just from those 3 days.
A lot of people decided they didn't want it.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I tried it and I was like, no.
And then after that, we got to see more of No Man's Sky. They had a live playthrough there. We got to see seconds of space combat. We got to see a better look at the scale of the game. Literally, the guy presenting it, he panned out on the screen, indicating all of these stars has a solar system with it, and then just the amount of stars that you could see was ridiculous. Also, he mentioned something about the center of the galaxy is something that everyone's trying to get to, so I'm not sure if they're trying to tell us that there is some sort of point or objective in No Man's Sky. Planets being destructible was shown. That was interesting. And then there were sentinels on the planet that would attack him for doing that. So yeah, No Man's Sky seems interesting like it always has, but it's still very confusing.
Yeah, that's my problem with this game, and I've been saying it for a while. I don't know why people are excited for this game, because I still don't know what the hell this game is.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it is.
The concept of the game is what excites people, I think, because it's something that you've always wanted from day one. To get in a starship and take on and off from a planet and go through the atmosphere and
And do what? And do what though?
Anything.
Discover.
But it's
My impression, or what I think this game is going to be, is something similar to Minecraft or even Proteus, where it's really, if that's the case, I'm not interested in this game, where you're just out there to discover and look at new environments. So maybe there's not something on the planet that you're there for. You're just there to look at it and experience it.
The technical scope of it is still what kind of baffles me, because granted, it's the same guy who presents it every time, and he looked a lot more relaxed this time than the last time. He seemed very nervous at PlayStation event and E3 last year, and he seemed very calm this time. But he always zooms out at some point and says, "You can visit all these places." And what goes through what I instantly think of is, how are you generating all these places, and how are they going to be different that you actually want to go there? Are they going to be copy and paste things of 15 set planets and they just have different names?
Yeah, it was interesting when he landed on that one planet. He said, "Oh, this isn't the most beautiful planet I've seen, but it's far from the worst." Like, what is a terrible planet on
Pluto.
this game look like? Pluto. There's just ice everywhere. There's no life. It's just terrible.
I mean, I hope the game does well, so we do more with this in the future. It's just, I really just hope it's not a big hype up, and then people get in and are like, well, what the hell is this? I've seen this 20 times. I fall out of my spaceship in the middle of the air, right? I mean,
yeah, I think, like you said, the big draw is that this concept is kind of Uncharted territory, and not to kind of. But
No, we're getting to it later.
drink, Jordan.
Yeah. But just how infinite it is, how randomly generated it is a big deal, and it's so how expansive it is I think what the biggest draw about it is. But I agree. I still don't see why I want to go from point A to point B. I still don't understand why I want to get to the center of the galaxy, or what I'm trying to do on my way there. I mean, so far, what I saw of it today didn't seem all that exciting. There's nothing really there for me. It's a little, it's pretty every once in a while. It's got some nice shapes. But besides that, it's just looking at stuff, analyzing it. I mean, he said there's a beacon on every planet, and didn't he say that it was something that's where you collect your information or something like that, or you upload your information that you've collected?
think that's where he landed on the beacon.
Yeah, he landed
See,
near the
it's
beacon, and
confusing.
then he landed near the beacon, and then he got to the beacon. He had to fight off a couple of sentinels or run away from them or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he got to the beacon, and then it showed him things he could do. Now, what those things are, we still don't know.
Yeah.
What would sell me on No Man's Sky and make me feel better about it is them putting a ceiling on it and saying there's 200 planets. Here's a vast solar system or galaxy or whatever they're doing, and it's like a Morpheus exclusive because it seems like a type of game that would tie in with Project Morpheus very well.
I wouldn't like it to be an exclusive to Morpheus because then you're limiting the player base severely to people who really just want to buy Morpheus. I mean, you may expand it a little bit to people who want to play No Man's Sky, but I think making it Morpheus compatible is really nice, especially if Sony says, "Hey, here's this software we want to get out there. Do you mind if you make it compatible?" And they say, "Sure, why not?"
But
we can totally do that.
Probably really unlikely to happen, since I'm pretty sure that they've already stated that any game that they develop for Morpheus has to be developed from the ground up.
Well, I mean, didn't the developer lose all their stuff in a flood, so they had to rebuild it from the ground up? Never know.
Well,
I don't know.
I feel like that probably would have been announced already by now, but who knows? It could very well be different. Who knows? I know nothing.
I just want to know when it's a game.
But I was going to say, moving on, Media Molecule went on stage to, if we didn't know already, they wanted to tell us that they were the weirdest developer that Sony has. And they showed off their new game called Dreams. And I have notes here. I still don't know how to put these notes into actual sentences, so I'll just read those. Moving paintings, share with friends. And then there was a cool gameplay trailer, but we're not sure if it's gameplay.
Ideas, things,
you create things. You create these things that look like clay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow more obscure than No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? That's weird.
So yeah, what it seemed like is you have tools to create these little.
I think it was like you could create your dream or your imagination and share it with whoever.
And then people can take parts of that and then put it into their own.
Right.
But do you watch the dreams or do you play the dreams? Not clear.
It sounds like
defense, I was just saying, in their defense, the guy did say, at first glance, first time you see it, it's really hard to understand. I mean, they could have just been their excuse, but it was hard to understand.
It sounds like the next gen clutch for a troll simulator. I think I saw that on Twitter a few times. Yeah, it's just like, well, this is a good way to really get back at people.
Yeah.
All right, and then after that was the PS4 timed exclusive Firewatch, and they had a little trailer shown for that, where it seemed like we got some story details. Someone is in your character's in his tower while you're out investigating the wilderness. So what does everyone think of Firewatch so far?
Firewatch looked really cool. When IGN did its month exclusive, or it did a first impressions deal on it, this trailer here seemed to elaborate on the story a little bit more, what was going on. But I'm really interested in this one. This one looks like a good adventure, sit-down type of game. Cool.
Yeah, I agree. I also have really liked the art style in the game that they've shown so far. It's very colorful and just the way your character looks, even though it's first person, it's sort of like a Pixar-esque, art style that you would see.
Yeah.
And then after that, the new Destiny expansion was shown off. I believe it was. What was it called? The Taken King. That's right. And I am not a Destiny player. If someone just wants to take the reins from me, go ahead and do it. But isn't the premise? It's Crota's dad is angry because you killed him, and he's gonna come and get you.
Crota's father has created a force to come after you for killing him in the last expansion. I don't remember what it's called, but
House of Wolves.
yeah, House of Wolves. No, the one before that.
The Dark Below.
Dark Below, that's it. I bought House of Wolves and I turned it on for 5 minutes and I haven't gone back. I think it's either you have to be into Destiny now to keep going with it, or that ship sailed.
Yeah.
But they showed off the new subclasses that'll be in the game and the new environments they'll be in, and also said there will be PlayStation exclusive content within the expansion.
Yeah,
So,
like a strike and a couple maps and stuff like that.
Yeah, so hooray for Destiny players on PlayStation.
Yay! I guess whatever.
Yeah. And then after that, we got it was a small look at Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and unlike the Ubisoft conference that showed the male protagonist, we got to see his sister Evie, and I think it was nice to see that she had different weapons and like overall was a different style of character in terms of like combat. And then they also said the Dreadful Crimes exclusive content will be on PS4 only. Which they said was like influenced by British literature and stuff. So obviously Sherlock.
Like Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
That's been happening though. Like Assassin's Creed games on PlayStation platforms have been happening for a while now. Like since I think Brotherhood.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, then there was a PSP exclusive like
Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any thoughts anyone care about the new Assassin's Creed game?
Assassin's Creed. We'll see.
It's another Assassin's Creed game. If it works, that'll be an improvement.
Well, they're bound, I think, to make a good Assassin's Creed game because it keeps on going the cycle. Good, suck. Good, suck. Good, suck. 3 sucked.
One thing I noticed.
5 sucked. Now 6 is good.
The one thing I noticed in the trailer from Ubisoft and the PS4 one is I think Unity's biggest problem was there was too many people shoved into those streets. And the 2 trailers from today, it's another tight-packed city, but there's less going on in the street. They definitely scaled back the amount of NPCs running around. So I'm pretty positive the game's going to run without a hitch this time. I've always played Assassin's Creed games. I've enjoyed them. And will I check this one out? Yeah, probably. They'll show up at some point.
My main problem with Syndicate was the fact that it had microtransactions, and I think they already said it won't feature microtransactions this time around.
You mean Unity?
Unity, yeah.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Sean.
So, I mean, it's already an improvement in my apartment, whatever.
It'll also be interesting to see how the game deals with the time period in terms of technology at the time, because this is when guns are starting to get a lot more prominent, and that could change gameplay a whole lot in Assassin's Creed, especially when you're trying to escape, run around on rooftops.
One of the guys on one of the carriages definitely he had a 6-shooting revolver on him at one point, and then one of the trailers. So yeah, I think that could be a game changer for sure.
Or they're just like the slowest reloading guys in the world.
Yeah,
that's possible.
And so after that was I almost just lost my shit when
this is the part of the conference where Sony decided that sanity is overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they revealed World of Final Fantasy, which is a chibi Final Fantasy game.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive to PlayStation. The only game that they really said was for Vita during this whole conference.
Yeah.
But
exclusive.
Exclusive. Yeah.
But yeah, after all of the rumors of Final Fantasy VII HD Remake leading up to today, I felt like this was what those rumors were supposed to be, and I immediately was just so upset and so angry. And I feel like the placement of that was very intentional because right after that, Final Fantasy VII HD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remake.
Remake. It's called
HD,
remake.
HD is the PC one. That's maybe still coming out. Who knows?
I don't know about that, but yeah, freaking remake. Oh my god, it's finally happening.
Yeah, when it came up, because again, Esteban and me in the chat were just like, what, like we didn't believe what we were seeing. We got to see like these shots of Midgar and shots of the slums, and like the whole time I'm thinking like, could this be? It can't be. Could this be? It can't be. And then you see Barrett's arm, the gun can't, and then you're just this is what it is.
I
was
remember
like, is this a sequel or something? I don't know what this is.
I remember distinctly hearing the doo-doo-doo, part of the music. I'm like, oh no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. And then having like, oh my god.
Yeah. It'll be this'll. No words. Never mind. No
Square,
words.
you bastards.
Yeah.
I know. After that freaking troll moment at the PlayStation Experience, it's like, okay, thank you.
Like, and the thing was that everybody knew that they had to know what they were doing. Everybody wanted a true remake at that point, and they decided to just, shell out the exact same thing that's already been released. They put no effort into it whatsoever, and it just seemed like a money grab, which would have worked, and probably still will. But now they've got this, and yeah, I mean, it was played beautifully a year ago, basically.
What'll be very interesting to see, and I'm sure we'll find out as details come out. But right now they have a team working on Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3. So who could be working on this game? Do you think this could be something that they're finding people to do internally, or they're having to get help somewhere else?
At this point, I think that they're just saying, well, Kingdom Hearts 3 has been delayed, and
about 12
it's not going anywhere for now. Let's just leave it. Like, seriously, when they were talking about when they showed Square Enix this logo, and like they were saying, the game that everybody's been waiting for, I was like, is this Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah.
Like that's what I was expecting, and then they showed remake. But yeah, no, who knows when Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out? We'll see, I guess. The E3 is not over, but
that's
Square has a conference
tomorrow.
So, yeah, we'll find out tomorrow, maybe.
Quick little detail. Final Fantasy VII is actually not exclusive though to PlayStation 4. It is coming first to PlayStation 4, and then that's all they announced. So we can assume that's coming to other consoles, most likely Xbox One.
Yeah,
maybe.
Somebody just said on Kind of Funny, the after show, that it is being developed outside the studio.
Oh, it is.
I would assume it's the same people who did 10 and 10 too, right?
It might be. That's actually a very good point.
I don't know, because I feel like the approach to this remake will have to be very different, like just going off the cutscenes. Yeah, so because with the 10 and 10-2 HD remakes, I mean, yes, it was in HD and they redid some textures and everything, but it was very much still the same game.
Yeah, that was more of a remaster rather than remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one, I'm sure it'll have voice acting in there just based off of how current Final Fantasy games are and how that trailer with the narration over it, and then just the visuals are going to be.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle combat and the equipment systems and stuff like that. See if they stay loyal to the original in some way. I mean, obviously, it's a bigger game. They can do more things with it.
I hope they stay to the classic.
Story might be different too. Who knows? Because it's a remake. It's not necessarily.
There's that tag on there.
I hope they don't do that.
Okay, so the big question is, it being a remake and all this, are you okay spending $60 on it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I suppose, yeah.
But yeah, moving on. They had a sizzle reel for Devolver Digital and showing some of their titles that they're going to be bringing to PlayStation platforms. Any fans of Devolver?
I've played the games. I mean,
yeah. Esteban likes the Not a Hero.
Yeah, I like that game. I played a couple others too. There's they do alright stuff. Not everything is gold, but they're alright.
When they showed that, I was like, all right, well, that's probably next year's summer, whatever they did this year, right? The spring. What was it? The 5 days, 5 weeks of spring or whatever the hell it was. Yeah.
No, it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
It is. And then after that, the Kickstarter for Shenmue 3 for PlayStation 4 and PC.
Okay. What the hell? How did this happen? How did this even happen? This is a Sega game. And
That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? This is what I mean by like sanity is overrated. It's like, what? How is this even happening?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're thinking, okay, this is literally the age of Kickstarter. Because you have, okay, Capcom's not making Mega Man. We'll get Mighty Number 9.
Mhm.
Oh, Konami's not going to make Castlevania, so we have Bloodstained.
Yeah.
Oh, Sega's not going to make Shenmue 3. We'll just make Shenmue 3 ourselves. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My wonder is if they're going to remake 1 and 2 as well as 3, or if they're going to re-release it. Because
probably a stretch goal.
Yeah.
I would hope that would be, because at the moment, I have it pulled up, it's a $2 million goal. They've already surpassed $1 million.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Wow.
just after it,
Yeah.
like, just to put that in perspective, just after the conference was over, they were over 500,000.
That's ridiculous.
So
Yeah, I mean, right now it's at 1,017,000.
Yeah, so
So-
this is going to clear that easy.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. And this is going to be a console exclusive. Like, it's going to be on PC and PS4. So this is one big deal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is something that is like, okay, what just happened?
Yeah, that's
No,
like,
seriously,
exactly
what
what
just
this is.
happened?
I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I mean, the rights to the series had been sold. And Yu Suzuki isn't even with Sega anymore, right?
No,
I
he's
think
going
so.
out on his own. It's,
Yeah, I mean, it was like there was no way this would ever happen, and now it somehow is, and it's weird. It's also kind of weird because Shenmue is not a perfect game. That series has problems, like really severe problems. But I also know that it has, its hard fan base, and I can see why. It's just not the ideal candidate, but it's happening, and I'm glad that it is.
I mean, I don't think they can make Shenmue. They have to update it to today's standards for sure. Combat control wise. But I mean, it was definitely like a pleasant surprise. I mean, it seems a lot of people are interested in it.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got to look at some more Arkham Knight stuff. And so first they started with a little trailer of the Joker being cremated, which immediately indicated to me that he's going to have a part in this game. Maybe even if he's dead, he could still play a part, or he could just not be dead.
His corpse is going to cause problems, or his ashes.
Yeah.
There's so many theories out there on this.
Harley Quinn throws the ashes into Batman's eyes. It goes into his brain. It turns him into the Joker.
Did you guys watch Assault on Arkham, the anime two-part series? Right, so Amanda Waller takes his blood, and there's possibly a clone of him.
Oh,
There is that theory. So,
And the
but
clone is Troy Baker.
Could be. I don't know. Like, I mean, they stated in the comic like 2 months ago, and then just showed the trailer here. That he is burnt and gone, and like even in this trailer, I was sitting here, I was like, he's gonna open his eyes. Like, I mean, that's the
I was
only
waiting
thing.
for it
But
too.
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
they just burnt him. Like that was it. Done deal.
Mhm.
I mean, it might be his ashes are in Scarecrow's fear gas, and now Scarecrow's spreading across the city, so the Joker's in Gotham. He's
Yeah.
part
It
of
is-
Gotham now.
It's actually
the essence in the air.
I
It's
actually
actually-
can't see him being gone. Like
the
that's,
whole
You can
game is
breathe
just a
in the
burial
Joker.
ceremony.
You can breathe in the Joker.
And then after that, we got what I'm assuming to be is the Scarecrow Nightmare Mission gameplay, where you're not playing as Batman, you're playing first person as Officer Owens, and you're getting to look at finally a Gotham City populated with actual people instead of a bunch of people just wearing masks waiting to get beat up.
Sure.
And then you walk over to a man and you get sprayed with fear gas, and the game
In the
just
face.
yeah, and it just turns into a horror game. So
there's Yeah, there really hasn't been a whole lot about Batman leading up to the release in a week.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a couple trailers, things here and there, but like even like the Arkham Insiders are starting, like the last two. That's the video series that WB's been doing for it. There's more and more stuff coming out. So like one guy asked WB or Rocksteady, have we seen all the villains yet? And kind of just went through the list of who they've seen, and the guy clearly states like, no, that's not everybody. Like we've been hanging on to a lot of information. So even like this first-person point of view of these nightmare missions, I mean, there's going to be a lot to this game. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, they're playing it pretty close to the chest. It's nice to see. Not too many leaks, not a thing that's really been extensively revealed.
Okay, so do you guys believe that this is, like Dave said, this is going to be the last in the Arkham trilogy? But do you truly believe that this is at the point where Batman dies?
No.
Yes, that is also, they say,
dead at the end of the game.
In the trailer, Officer Owens is saying, it's not Officer Owens, it's someone who's there when Joker's being cremated, and he says, let me tell you about the day that Batman died.
There's two people when they cremate him in the comics, and it's Batman and Commissioner Gordon, so that's probably Gordon's voice.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
So Batman being dead, though, could just mean that Batman is no longer Batman.
Batman did die in The Dark Knight Returns, and he wasn't dead. So there's plenty of ways that Batman can die, but not be dead.
I don't believe it, because I think after this there's going to be like a Justice League game or something.
Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, plus too. I mean, the Lazarus Pit's still sitting there in Arkham City, right? So.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So Batman can die, and then Ra's al Ghul goes in, grabs him, puts him in the Lazarus Pit. He's like, "Hey, you're going to run the League of Assassins," and then Batman's gonna be like, "Really? We're doing this again?"
Yeah. You know what though? I'm already way excited for Batman Arkham Knight. I love the series, so actually I didn't even need to see this. Like I'm already hyped for the game. I'm fine. So even if the information is starting to slow or whatever, I'm good. I still want it.
And they also said those Scarecrow Nightmare missions were PlayStation exclusives.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they've said that before too.
Yeah, they have, but this was the first time we really got an idea of what that is. Because normally, you have your Ubisofts and your EAs come out and just exclusive content for Xbox, exclusive content for PlayStation, and they never tell you what it is. But it was nice to see, get sort of a reference for our exclusive content. And then after that, we got a little bit of Morpheus, and basically they just kind of. They talked about it, and they had gameplay going up in the background. We got to see Eve Valkyrie, a game that's been talked about a lot, and then they also announced a new Morpheus game developed by Guerrilla Cambridge called Riggs, which I think they said it was like an esports centric first-person shooter, but they didn't talk about it a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. No, there's a lot of stuff around Morpheus and the games that are coming out for it that we really need to know more about.
Okay, here's the thing. Was there a release date announced?
Nope. No price.
Was there a price announced? No. You see, those are two things that will hook people, saying, okay, this piece of technology is going to be coming out at this time. It's going to be coming out at this price. Then it's like, great, we can be more excited for it because we know more information about it. You can show me all the games on there. You can show me friggin' Half-Life 3 on that thing, and I still won't pick it up unless I know the time and the money that I have to spend on it.
But that's the case with all of the VR options right now. We don't know price or release date for them, so I think they're still keeping it close to the chest and want to see what competition's going to do.
Do you guys think that's indicating that it's going to be fairly pricey?
Most likely.
Yeah.
$250 plus. I see it around there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think the Oculus, we know that it's coming out early next year.
Yeah. They
don't
have
have
a release window.
Yeah, window, not date, but window.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
basically,
then
around like PlayStation Experience, we should probably see a release window or a release date and a price.
yeah,
Maybe.
again between now and just between show floor, Gamescom, and the PlayStation Experience, we'll get more news. And then after that, took a break from all of the video game stuff and talked about PlayStation View, which features. Did they announce when they're going to be? What were the cities they were launching in?
LA was one of them
Yeah.
In
tonight.
San Francisco.
LA and San Francisco. And they were talking about sort of their a la carte channels where you could just pick what you wanted rather
Yep.
than having to do packages, which is it's very nice. And
Yeah.
some of them were Showtime, and apparently Machinima has a channel that they're going to be offering on there.
Yep.
There was Fox Soccer; those were the big ones that they talked about. And then there's also going to be a discount for PlayStation Plus members.
Exactly $5 a month.
That's nice. That's about it.
If you're not talking games, you're not the best you can do is nice at E3.
You know, the thing is, I think it's a huge deal. I mean, like, and we've seen this kind of with like HBO Now and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're getting away from like these cable packages and allowing people to actually get the content that they want rather than just a ton of crap. I mean, I get the feeling that it's getting to the point where we're going to be able to do away with the phrase "there's nothing on television."
Yeah.
I should say that it is more than nice that we're getting this. It's very important that we're getting, a la carte kind of idea. It's just that we've been asking it for so long that we've now gotten options that are actually better than that. We have Netflix and Hulu Plus and all these other services where we can get exactly what we want when we want it and not have to wait for a time slot to watch a certain show. So
Yeah, video on demand.
yeah, so it is really good, and it's about time that we're getting it. But it's also maybe a case of a little too late.
I mean, the thing is though, like you need Netflix and HBO in order to get all of HBO's content. You know what I mean? And how much is HBO now? Isn't it like around $15 or something like that?
I think it's like $15 a month.
And so that's 21 bucks, $22 a month to get both of those services.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same thing with every other channel. So I mean, you can expect probably the other movie channels to be doing a very similar thing. Showtime Anytime is already set up. Stars Play. You've got all these other on-demand services that are probably either going to be pulling their content from Netflix and the like very soon, or going to have exclusive content on there. So I mean, yeah, you have a valid point that like we already get content on demand, but I think there's definitely a place for buying specific channels for a cheaper price than even maybe what those channels are offering.
I think what this is geared towards is, Sony's not just the PlayStation; it's TVs and whatnot, and
Sure.
a lot of people who are who have smart TVs in their home now. This is now a viable option for them who don't have the PlayStation or Xbox hooked to their TV, so they can have everything. So
I think it's so funny that 2 years ago they were talking about, and even at the beginning of this conference, they were talking about how it's the gaming console.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so badly trying to differentiate themselves from the Xbox One and how it was the all-in-one inclusive console, and now and how dedicated they were to video games, and they are. I mean, I think both companies are.
Yeah.
And now they're basically doing exactly what Microsoft did by offering all these other services. It's great, but it's just kind of funny to see how their message has kind of changed.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm tired of paying, $150 a month for cable and internet, and if I only can pay $60 a month for, the best internet that's offered in my area, and spend another $35-$40 between Netflix, Hulu, View." I think this PlayStation View offers everything but like 3 channels. Somebody had broke it down a couple months ago, and it's like your total cable bill is like $45 a month by the time you have everything.
Yeah.
And then after this, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 made an appearance, and there was a lot of speculation going in after This game was not at Microsoft's conference, which is a tradition for Call of Duty. But so yeah, that was really interesting to see Call of Duty being partnered with Sony now instead of Microsoft, and we got to see some single-player gameplay where they showed off their 4-player co-op. But we didn't get to see Marshawn Lynch, so don't want this game. But it was good to see exosuits are still in the game after Advanced Warfare. A lot of people were saying, how could anyone make a Call of Duty game without them after Advanced Warfare happened? But not only that, there was a lot of parkour elements in the game, so they're speeding up a game where you had suits on your body to make yourself like jump 20 feet in the air and dash. So this game is going to be very fast. They also showed multiplayer where there was teleporting. That happened too, and they showed off plenty of other like special little abilities and perks.
This was crazy. At what point in the last couple months did Microsoft piss in Activision's cereal and just to make this happen? Because that always had seemed like they were in bed together for forever. And or is it the fact that the PlayStation theoretically has sold more than the Xbox, and Activision's like, well, that's where the money's at, and I'm gonna go jump in bed over there.
Yeah.
Activision looking for some strange.
Yeah, I don't really understand this business decision. I mean, I understand it from Sony's standpoint completely, but I don't see why Activision would make this deal. It seemed like they were pretty cozied up to Microsoft, and I mean, I love Sony, but Microsoft has the better network, and that's really been one of the things that has made the most sense about that partnership.
That's not what they're concerned about. They're concerned about where the bigger player base is, and
I completely understand.
Is bigger than. That's why they went with the Xbox to begin with, because there are more people there. That's. I mean, that game didn't even run in 720p technically on the Xbox 360, but that's where they focused on because there were more people there. Now it's the other way around, so they switched.
I think another thing that goes along with it is the fact that EA is in bed with Microsoft now, and since EA has basically Battlefield, which is the Call of Duty main competitor right now, I think that they made the decision, well, we don't want to give Microsoft access to both our and our competitors' DLC early, so we're going to increase the competition like that.
Yeah, but you got the crazy thing now where Call of Duty and Destiny are like pretty much the top sellers, like in the top 10 list for sure, and now you have two of them exclusive content to PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm. A lot of wife swapping happening.
The sped up gameplay in it, I took a glance at it because I kind of turned away at that point for a little bit because it's Call of Duty. You just kind of know what you're getting. Yep. But then I was like, oh shit, like that kind of looked like Titanfall on foot, the running on the walls and the jumping around and stuff. So, I mean, I'm all for moving forward with it. I'll play it.
And then after that, we got a look at Star Wars content for Disney Infinity 3.0. They showed Twilight of the Republic, which is going to be focused on the prequel trilogy, and then Rise Against the Empire, which will be focused on the original trilogy. And based off of what they said, it seemed like these are going to be playsets exclusive to PlayStation, or did they say? I thought I heard something about them being like only for a month.
They're timed.
Yes,
they were. I think. Yeah.
And then Boba Fett was there. He'll be in the playset.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So watching this, I mean, hearing the Star Wars music, and I was like, oh, okay, great, Star Wars something. Mm-hmm. And then it was Star Wars Disney Infinity, and I was like, why am I not looking at Battlefront right now?
Yeah. But you didn't have to wait long.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Battlefront, because that was right after that. And instead of showing more multiplayer, which they've been doing throughout today and before, like Star Wars, what's the name of the conference? Can't believe I'm forgetting it.
I think it was just a Star
Star
Wars,
Wars Celebration.
event.
Oh,
Star Wars
yeah.
Celebration. And they showed the single player content, which were the missions, and they said that they can be played offline with a friend or just like online through matchmaking. And I also thought it was hilarious. The guy said Luke Skywalker,
Yeah.
and but yeah, the gameplay, it looked fine. Admiral Akbar made an appearance.
It was pretty, definitely.
Yeah.
I was impressed with it. I was impressed with it from what we'd seen before, and I'm more interested in it now than I was then. I'm a huge Battlefront fan. I don't know many people who aren't. Yeah, I'm excited to see this game in action in person.
Yeah, I'm a huge Battlefront fan too, but I think it's kind of weird to see sort of this half-step approach in terms of single-player content where they're doing missions, but they're not going to make them original. They're still set within the boundaries of the original trilogy with no real like script or story or characters, but you're still... It's really weird.
I mean, that's kind of how they always were. I mean...
They moved planet to planet though. Like Battlefront 2 had like at least 20 to 30 locations, where this game has 4, I think it was said, 4 or 5. There's not many, and the graphics and the landscapes look amazing, but it just seems like they focused all their time in that. And yeah, you can't do the trilogy with just 4 of the planets because it moves everywhere. You know, I would have loved to have seen battles inside a Star Destroyer or the Death Star and stuff, and I don't think we're going to get that.
Think about the company that is developing this and how much money they're going to try to make off this thing. I'm sure we're going to see DLC like crazy popping out of this.
Yeah, DLC
Jordan
for
hit it
sure.
right on the head.
I hate whenever someone says that, but it's probably true.
No, that's definitely true.
Not only that, I mean, this also could be, we're not going to show our full hand of cards, and when Battlefront 2 comes out, and they'll tie it into the next movie in 2 years or whatever, the floodgates are open then, and you got this, massive experience.
Yeah.
But it's been 5 million years since we've had Battlefield, so I'll take it. Or Battlefront.
Yeah.
And then ending the show, now we're in Uncharted territory. Uncharted 4 gameplay was shown. We got to see Nate and Sully together in action. They had the only technical difficulties of the day.
Yeah.
It was pretty hilarious to see Naughty Dog, like one of the most respected developers in the entire world, as the only company to have technical difficulties.
Well, now we know why it's not coming out until 2016.
Yeah. I think the controller just disconnected on that point. But after that, it was just like, yep. This is Uncharted. This is what I love.
Yeah, we got to see a better look at combat and driving, and some great pineapple physics were in the game. I'm not sure if anyone caught that. It was cool to see the environments interacting with the players, fighting each other.
That's actually what I took away from it the most, and what it seemed like they were really trying to showcase, because I mean, you see the Jeep kind of like swerving around all over the place, and like he's hitting everything. I mean, it really seemed like he was almost.
You're not supposed to hit every fence.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were really showing off kind of how. I mean, not necessarily that the environment is destructible. It was falling apart, but like to say that it's destructible would be like more than just the kind of aesthetic breaking. But definitely that it was interactive, and he threw an enemy into like a fruit stand, and it smashed, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I liked seeing this, but I think compared to what they showed at PlayStation Experience, it felt a little bit underwhelming to me, because at PlayStation Experience they were giving us a lot more new things. The environment was a lot more open, and it seemed like you had a lot more options to tackle the mission in front of you. We got to see an amazing grappling hook move, which the grappling hook did make an appearance in this demo, but I felt like it wasn't as impressive, but it's Uncharted, so I still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I'm not
one thing
go ahead. I'm not a big fan of Uncharted. I've only played the first one,
Oh,
and
well, that's why.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
get past the first one, man.
Yeah. I've tried to get into the second one like, several times, and I can't quite do it, but I probably will eventually. And one thing that's always bothered me is just because of how scripted that series is.
Hmm.
And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but this just felt less scripted to me. It just felt a little bit more spontaneous. Like at least if they were doing things on purpose, it was because they were doing it, not because the world around it was making them do it.
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
I feel like it was a little bit more prevalent in the PlayStation Experience one,
Yeah.
but yeah, I can kind of see what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
at least it has that illusion.
Like for example, the demo for Uncharted 3, I think several E3s ago. You're trying to get out of the ship that was sinking, and basically all the player was doing was running away.
Yeah.
That's all you were doing. You're more interactive with this.
To say that we can probably expect more than that in reality is probably unlikely. I think it's kind of what Naughty Dog does best now. I mean, like they do linear storytelling, and to do linear storytelling, you really need to have a linear environment for the most part.
And
Yeah,
I felt like there was a linear environment in this by like, oh, your only path out is this little back alley right here. So, like, I understand what you're saying, Esteban, but I feel like one of the main things that I took away from Uncharted, especially this one that you couldn't see in PlayStation Experience, was the interactivity between him and Sully, both in fighting and with the driving and everything else, whether it is, the banter or whether it is them working together, like Sully saving Nate whenever he's ambushed by two guys in melee combat. I feel like that's something that, it's like, oh, wait, that's pretty cool. You know what? Maybe I could even play co-op when someone guy plays as Sully. It's something like that I would I honestly really love to see. But yeah, amazing demo. I loved it. It was a good end to their conference.
And with the end of the conference, this will
Which
be
just ended. It just ended. I'm like, oh, it's over. Okay.
But yes, now we're at the end of our show where we will give our general impressions of what we saw. So I'll go first, and I thought this was the best conference of E3. They definitely had the most surprises, and they were very delightful surprises. And really, the only low points were very short. They weren't given a lot of time on screen, or they were, something that you could laugh about, like World of Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was seeing Guerrilla's new franchise. I think that it's better than I could have imagined it to be. It's weird to see someone who went from Killzone to go to that, and I'm very excited to see more of that game. And then just The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's something that people just predict every year just to be super lucky, but they really happen this year.
Right. Yeah, no, my impressions were, just to be succinct about it, there were some awesome surprises. The Last Guardian, I mean, I was surprised by it, especially the fact that, I think a lot of people were expecting it, a lot more people than who usually expect it. And by throwing it in the front, like, it still had that surprise factor. Final Fantasy Remake, there is some great surprises. A lot of games look really fun. And then there's a couple of games that just are still kind of confounding.
Yeah, they're just there.
So now that The Last Guardian has shown its teeth, what's the new go-to that, what's the new myth game that might show up or might not show up?
Tomba 3.
Tomba. Or was it Ape Escape? That was PlayStation exclusive?
Are we talking PlayStation ones?
I guess, yeah. I mean, that seemed to be the PlayStation myth.
I think it's going to be Kingdom Hearts 3.
It's Kingdom Hearts 3.
Going on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see tomorrow.
I know. I want it so bad.
Yeah. For me, this press conference was right now. It is, I think, the best one. I wasn't. Bethesda's was probably the best one before this, but I actually thought overall that one was only okay. because I
Right,
mean,
Fallout.
it was
Fallout,
Fallout, it was Fallout, it was Doom, and it was Dishonored too, which actually didn't even have that much mentioned about it. We just know it exists. And then the rest of it was like, whatever, it's fine. There's nothing bad there. It's just there was 2, maybe 3 games that were amazing in that conference, and that was it. But one of them was probably game of E3.
Yeah.
But this conference is the best one in my opinion so far. Maybe Nintendo and Square Enix will do something amazing, but we'll see. This is my favorite so far.
With the way Nintendo has been just leaking
Yeah.
all of their content, who knows if they'll have anything left by tomorrow.
And
we'll see.
can I just say too that I think it's really interesting that Square Enix's probably their biggest reveal was not during their own conference.
Yeah.
Well, there could be more. I think we'll see more of Final Fantasy VII tomorrow at their conference.
I hope so.
Probably. I hope so too.
We got a sliver. We'll see tons of Final Fantasy 15. I think we'll see a good chunk of Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, they have to. They've shown it. It's been a 2 E3s now with 2 different demos, and
I don't put anything past Square Enix anymore.
They're just gonna half the conference is going to be Hitman, the other half is going to be World of Final Fantasy.
Don't even say that.
If they don't have 15 minutes of Kingdom Hearts, they'll probably burn the building down.
I'm still waiting to see Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, because
I'm sure it'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't see that, did we?
And
No.
we have to have at
They
least
had
one
their-
release date.
But I was going to say, Sony did have a sizzle reel that seemed like it was going to be the end, which it didn't make sense. It did not fit in.
Yeah, I don't know why it was there.
But Deus Ex was in that. But
Okay, yeah, I
they
did. I
never
saw
did
it there.
anything. Yeah.
Uncharted collection was in the sizzle world too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. And I think they may have flashed a Vita.
Yeah. They flashed Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and that was it.
Yeah, we didn't see any Persona 5, did we? Nope.
I'm as upset as I am because I'm a gigantic Persona fan. I'm okay with that, with how crowded this fall is about to be.
For sure.
Because Persona is a game that, Persona 4 Golden, I don't even remember how many hours I put into that game. It's ridiculous. And so that competing with Fallout for my time, I don't know what I would do. You would have to check me into a mental institute.
And to be fair, they're probably saving a lot of that stuff for TGS
Yep.
and PlayStation Experience.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Is what else are they going to have this year to reveal?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Did everyone go through their general impressions?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Steven?
Well,
He's
Steven-
not. Steven. Who's Steven?
he's not here.
Oh no, Sean. Sorry.
Sean, yeah.
Sorry. I read it weird.
Gee, thanks. My impressions was kind of the same as Matt's. My favorite of E3. When I watched the Microsoft one, when I watched Bethesda, I was with my 2 roommates and I was thinking, oh, this is amazing. I really love this. I'm really liking Doom. I'm really liking Fallout. I'm really liking Dishonored. I'm really liking this. When I watched Microsoft's this morning, my roommates kind of came in a little bit and they were just like, oh yeah, this is really cool. I love, the backwards compatibility. I kind of like what they showed. But I wasn't really excited for their games. I was like, okay, these ideas are really nice.
Mhm.
But PlayStation really needs something to blow it out of the water. I was literally sitting next to my roommate watching this conference. Whenever Adam Boyes was on stage going, okay, so let's go through the checklist. Last Guardian, check. Let's see. Final Fantasy, check. Shenmue 3, check. I looked over to him, and I was just about to grab his shirt and be like, is this real?
Yeah.
Is this real? Because it just seemed so unreal. And, with them having so many surprises, including Horizon and even World of Final Fantasy, I don't care if it looks like a Vita game. It's a Vita game. I love it. And, Uncharted, I'm sold. Sony, in my opinion, won E3 2015.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. My only question now at this point is kind of, we saw release dates at the other press conferences, and I don't recall seeing one at this one. So
Hitman.
what is this holiday's Sony's title? Are they going to kind of just scoot off into 2016?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah.
Well, they have the Uncharted collection. That's one thing. I think that's the only thing that they have. But I think that they know that 2015 at the very end is going to be so crowded. Like, I think Halo 5 for Microsoft is going to be kind of shut out due to everything else that's going to be coming. I think Sony knows, okay, 2015 is going to be crowded enough as it is. We can take over 2016 right now. And so I feel like that's what's going on.
I think Uncharted. I mean, I want to say that they would have released Uncharted this year if it was ready.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And that was probably going to be their late 2015 release. I don't know what else. I mean, there's been Bloodborne this year. I'm trying to think of Order. Yeah,
that's probably going to be the biggest game of the year this year, Bloodborne. I think for holiday season they're just relying on third parties, and from what we've seen, I think they're fine.
Yep. They'll have Street Fighter, they'll have exclusive Call of Duty stuff, exclusive Destiny stuff.
I don't think Street Fighter 5 is coming out this year.
That is true. They have a Street Fighter beta.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But there's other games, like now they have the partnership with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and they have the Disney Infinity and Star Wars Battlefront, and I mean there's nothing necessarily exclusive to that one, I don't think, Battlefront, but at this point it's like it doesn't really matter because now they're like the top console that everyone has, so that's probably where they're going to buy it.
Well, it matters a little bit. I mean, I think a big part of why they needed to wow us so much at this conference, and I think they were effective at doing that, is because they don't really have that first-party content this year.
The
which
messaging
has been worrying a lot of people.
The messaging already has been there's not enough first-party games from Sony this year.
Yeah.
And they needed to correct that. It'd be like, well, you know what? It doesn't really matter because look at all this.
Yeah, look at what we are going to have.
Yeah.
So.
It was also very weird to see, again, with the role reversal where Sony had Call of Duty this year, and Microsoft was the one who showcased their indie games that they were going to bring to their platform. And Sony did have Devolver Digital come on, but really there was not a big focus on indie games. You had that and No Man's Sky.
That was weird. That was weird. Yeah.
Well, again, like I said, I mean, I think everyone knows that you're going to be able to get indie games on PlayStation.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, unless anyone has anything else said, I think that wraps up our show.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I was saying was you're gonna be able to get indie games on PlayStation, and you're going to also be able to get all this other stuff is what they're showing, these third-party exclusives, some third-party partnerships, and so it's showing that it's more diverse than just the indie console,
Yeah,
Battle Arena Tushinden 4. Make it happen, Shu.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Middle of Nowhere Gaming's 2015 E3 Sony Conference QuickTime event extravaganza Turbo Alpha 2.5.
The pre-order.
The pre-order edition. If you like this, check out middleofnowheregaming.com. We have a bunch of other cool stuff there. A bunch of cool people like us. Not to toot my own horn, but I have a pretty awesome podcast called More Than the Score. Esteban was on there just the other week. So, and also be sure to check out all of our other E3 coverage. We have QuickTime events for every conference, including one for the third-party conferences. Maybe that's still up in the air, but that's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for listening and or watching. And I hope you have a pleasant day.
Later.
Well,
Very, very tired.